Good evening, everybody. Thank you. That's a sailor right there. He and I just spoke outside, so we sailors know each other's names really well. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Before we begin our presentation, I'm going to introduce our outgoing president, Thomas Haas. But before then, we always start our events with recognition of colors. So if we can all please stand, we'll do a quick pledge of allegiance, and we'll start this awesome show.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, welcome everybody to the second Michigan Veterans Entrepreneurship Lab cohort and pitch competition. As a fellow veteran, it's an honor to facilitate this awesome program with my colleagues. But most importantly, it's an honor to give veterans who served the opportunity to share their vision and their dreams with the rest of us. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's an honor to introduce President Haas and have him say a couple words as a veteran, as a leader in our community, and also as just a friend to every student who's walked in this building. So President Haas, please come and say a few words.
Can you hear me if I'm out here? Yes. You can? All right, good. I'll project. I'll use my captain's voice. Or as my kids said, you can use your captain's voice, which I have from time to time. So thank you. It is so great to be able to be part of this program here at the university. As a veteran, as mentioned, I had 23-year plus commission service in the Coast Guard and then continued on with civilian status as well. So I enjoyed my time in the service, and then there is a connection. My dad was in World War II, he was a cook in the Pacific Theater. He was a petty officer, and he said I was in charge of morale on the destroyer. He said if a crew was well fed, they were going to be a happy crew and we could get on with the mission. I learned a lot from that. He never graduated from high school, but he went ahead and got a GED eventually and became a New York police officer. He understood about service, as the veterans are here as well. And then my father-in-law retired from the Army. He was a survivor of the Battle of the Bulge. These two individuals are heroes, as I view you all the same, those veterans that are here, as well as my three children. One just retired from the Air Force, 20 plus years of service, and my other son's in the Coast Guard, and then our daughter was in Navy service. So we have that DNA.
Navy.
Oh, Navy.
Yeah, Navy.
All right. Actually, any Navy people in here?
Oh, they have.
Good. Any Marines? Right. Any Army?
Hoorah!
Oh, that's pretty good.
Lead the way.
How about Air Force?
Woo!
They're always the loudest. They are. But I just asked my son. Any Coast Guard? Well, yes. But truly, it is great because when I look at this program and understand what it's about, it aligns with our mission of shaping student lives, profession, and society. We define that notion of a student very, very broadly. And I'm so pleased that at this place, at this institution, we do support our students who are veterans, who are coming here for that goal of a degree. But in this case, you're coming here to be supportive, as you should, with this laboratory experience. And I think it's a wonderful alignment with our mission, without any doubt that we are here to serve those who have served us, and to have the opportunity to be at Grand Valley, where we take that set of values very, very clearly and deliberately. And so when I look at what this lab is all about, entrepreneurial activity when I think of the service members within my service, within the Coast Guard, individuals who I served with on Coast Guard cutters here in the Great Lakes primarily, they were individuals who had one very, very important characteristic. They had a work ethic, just never quit. And I'm sure that the veterans here as well have that same ethic, work ethic, to maybe try some things differently, take some initiatives, and do things like in this case, drive towards maybe some entrepreneurial activity that will reap you benefits as well. But I do know this, that through those activities, you're going to reap the benefit of self-confidence, you're going to reap the benefit maybe with other ways with a vocation that comes out of it. My son, who's in the Coast Guard, I mentioned him, he's going to be retiring in 2 years, and he's going to be an entrepreneur himself. He had spent 3 tours in Alaska. He's going to return to Alaska. He's going to live in Seward. He's going to bring his wife and 2 children. His wife, Janice and Gregory, met while he was stationed in Homer. And so they're going to return, and he's going to start up a brewery in his house. He really got the bug for brewing, not just because he comes here to Grand Rapids, but that's okay too. He actually likes brewing a lot too. So we know that he, in his core, has that work ethic too, to try some things out. So he already has his vision, his business plan, his orientation. He's got some equipment. Part of the equipment is stored in our garage. So and then he says, and Dad, you know, you're going to be retiring. I need a water chemist. Because that's my background, is chemistry. So I said, count me in. It'd be fun to do this together then, too. So he's going to create a 30-barrel operation to serve for 3 months the tourist industry in Seward, Alaska, who people come, they go on the cruise ships, and so he could then support the restaurant industry with locally glacier water brewed beer. He's already got a marketing concept. So that's what entrepreneurs do. They think about something that's creative, that may be serving a purpose. It could be culinary, it could be so many different ways to do it. I know that looking at some of these activities that you're involved with, the same thing there, as I'm seeing with my son. Again, he'll be retired and looking forward to that activity in his home. So he's building this home right behind, he's got 2 acres, and you'll see the glacier, so that's true that they'll have water from the glaciers. And then, so on the first floor, it's all brewery, and the second floor, his home. And so he's going to have 2 bedrooms and a place to cook his meals, etc. But he's going to do that. He's going to work at the community college too. So it's amazing to see the connections then with what you all have done here as military veterans looking now to your future. And I applaud you, every one of you, to take that risk, but founded on the work ethic that you have that's in your character. So again, thank you for being here. Great to have you on board. Bye.
Thank you, President Hawks. It's an awesome opportunity to have you speak here, and next year we'll Skype you in, sir. Next, I'd like to introduce Julie Cowie, who is our director, and it's been an awesome opportunity to facilitate. And so please give a hand to Julie.
So, welcome to Michigan Veteran Entrepreneur Lab, a program of the Richard M. and Helen DeVos Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation here at Grand Valley State University. We couldn't be more excited for this night to come. Cohort 2 is comprised of about over a dozen military-connected people, including spouses and partners. You've been working hard and enthusiastically, and we are all cheering for you. All of us are cheering for you. Yeah, so remember that. The judges are going to have tough choices, and speaking of judges, I'd like to introduce them, and thank you for being here. Kevin Vanderwood. You want to stand up? Sure. Senior Vice President, Regional Private Banking Manager at Wells Fargo Private Bank. Wells Fargo is tonight's growth sponsor, and Kevin will be presenting the Wells Fargo $5,000 grand prize at the end of our program. We thank Wells Fargo for sponsoring tonight's program as a growth sponsor, and thank you, Kevin, for representing Wells Fargo's commitment to veterans. Wendy Mack is an exited entrepreneur from West Michigan, a serial entrepreneur, a VC investor. Wendy's back after great questions from cohort 1, and we're so glad to have you in the judge's seat again. Talk to Wendy about Basics, a digital media company online at thinkbasics.com, and thinkbasics.com is a startup sponsor of cohort 2. Ms. Meredith Gremmel, Vice President, Corporate Affairs and Communications for Spartan Nash and the Executive Director of Spartan Nash Foundation. We so appreciate Spartan Nash's commitment to veterans as seen at hiring fairs around the community, among many other gestures focused on military families. We are deeply grateful for Spartan Nash's support of tonight's veteran entrepreneurs as a startup sponsor. Northwestern Mutual is returning to MVE Lab as a seed sponsor. Thanks Northwestern Mutual, represented tonight by Caitlin Crowley, whose name rhymes with mine, campus recruiter. Northwestern Mutual staff has been generous with time and talent, providing education and mentoring along with financial support of MVE Lab, and we're glad you're here, Caitlin. Huntington Bank is an MVE Lab supporter. Darren Flieger is Assistant Vice President, Business Banking Relationship Manager. Darren is a Laker and a warm friend to entrepreneurs, and we're grateful for Huntington Bank's support. One of the entrepreneur ecosystem's newest entities is Rendy Progress Capital, co-founded by Eric Foster. Eric and his team are laser focused on supporting historically excluded entrepreneurs with loan opportunities. We have been delighted to benefit from your expertise and applaud Rendy Progress Capital's efforts to close gaps in the entrepreneur ecosystem. Thanks for being here, Eric, co-founder and managing director of Rendy Progress Capital. So let me ask you, if you are not a veteran, to please stand. So those who are seated, the veterans in the room, have served our country with courage, commitment, focus, selflessness. They have fought wars across the seas and served in domestic positions to keep our world safe. Please join me in thanking the veterans for the standing ovation. You may be seated. A few quick shout outs and then we'll start. So the visionaries behind MVE Lab are 2 women, Dean Diana Lawson of the Seidman College of Business and Sharuk Almala, the Executive Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Many of you met Sharuk and she's working with our judges tonight. We also enjoy a really collaborative relationship with Stephen Lipnicki of the Veterans Network. Stephen is here tonight. And I want you to know that Grand Valley is really a veteran-friendly school. And it's an honor to run a program here. We want to thank our Center for Entrepreneurship students who have helped MVE Lab through creating our printed materials. If JJ Mashad is in the room. Working with our social media and logistics. If Kelsey Gaunt is here, you saw Kelsey at the welcome table. And writing terrific news stories and managing the time tonight, one of the harder jobs, that would be Kayla, right here. Kayla Sosa. Highlights of our 3-month program include our guest presenters and mentors. If you have served as a mentor for either cohort 1 or cohort 2, or you have been a guest presenter, could you please stand, please? To have 2 terrific co-facilitators that lead our entrepreneurship workshop that meets on Monday nights. Michael Hyacinth, who you've met briefly, is a serial entrepreneur and founder of Has Heart. He is sensitive, smart, and has a knack for focusing on significant things. So, thank you, Michael. Andrew Hireman is a young and hustling entrepreneur, a Laker who stayed put in Grand Rapids, and we love that when that happens. Currently, he's working in innovation at Spectrum Health, and he consults on the side and offers education, mentoring, and plain old good advice to our program participants. Thank you. So just a few brief things about our process tonight. They'll pitch for 3 minutes, timed. You will hear the bell at the end of the 3 minutes, and you may finish your sentence. Each pitch is followed by 2 minutes of Q&A from the judges. We have a mic for you, and that Q&A is also timed, but we might have a little latitude, maybe. Please make sure your phones are silenced. We're going to have the pitches right after each other. When we're done, around 7:45 or earlier, you'll have about 5 more minutes to vote your tokens, you and the community, if you haven't done your tokens yet. And then we'll reconvene after the judges deliberate right around 8:10. We'll announce the winners and we'll go home. Thank you so much for being here. It's a thrill. It is just a thrill. I can't wait to hear you guys. I can't wait. Okay, let's have at it.
So we're trying to get the actual presentation to showcase. Before we do that, I wanted to say a couple words to reflect and to express how deeply important it is to have you guys here and for your continued support. According to the U.S. Veterans Magazine, close to 50% of World War II veterans went on to start businesses, and about 40% from the Korean War actually went on to start businesses. If you take those numbers, that equates to millions of jobs created to help rebuild our economy. However, when we look at the numbers of veterans who served from 9/11, that number decreases dramatically. So we've got World War II, 50%, Korean War veterans, 40%. But according to the Department of Bureau of Labor and Statistics, out of the 3 million veterans that have served after 9/11, only 4.5% of those veterans are entrepreneurs. From 50 to 4.5%, that is a number that we as a society should not allow to sustain. And that is why it's truly an honor to be here, to work with Julie, to work with Andrew, and to work with GVSU to make sure that we actually reverse that trend. And today, ladies and gentlemen, you will be hearing from some of those ventures, some of those entrepreneurs, some of those veterans that make it their business to help reverse that trend, to not only impact veterans, but to impact our society and this great country of ours. So thank you again. Please be seated, and we're going to start.
So we're trying to make this clickable for everybody, just to, see how soon we have it. So, let's see. Everybody's slides are here in PowerPoint, so if we want to just use like this one right here. So we just open that up at first. And then we want to set that up to be slideshow. You don't have to do that for each person. So that's good. That work? So participants, Andrew's going to click for you. Okay, so give him the nod when you want him to advance the slide. Oh, it works.
Okay, well, thank you for your patience. Yes, starting off is Life's Beautiful Diamonds. Please introduce yourself and start your presentation.
Hello, I am Shauna Jackson with Life's Beautiful Diamonds. When you think about diamonds, they start off as coal and they get refined to beautiful diamonds. And that is what I'm here to do, is transform women from coal to beautiful diamonds. Take Bonnie, she's 57 years old. She's a single divorced parent and she has 2 children. She works all the time. She works day and night. She's helping other people. And so she doesn't have time for herself. And I'm sure many of you know some Bonnies just like that need to do self-care in their lives. So, how is Bonnie served? I'm glad you asked. Let me just tell you. So, this is her before picture. What I did was I gave her some life coaching sessions as well as gave her a few makeovers. And you will see that at the end of the presentation. Data states that 89% of women in this world neglect taking care of themselves. And self-care is very important for us because we're so busy doing other things. And this weighs down on us mentally, emotionally, and physically, as you will see. If you're not taking care of yourselves, you know, because we're so busy. I am, like I said, Shonda Jackson. I am and have a master's in mental health counseling. I am a licensed cosmetologist as well as a life coach. I do life coaching as well as relationship coach, and I am a transformational coach as well as an author. I wrote a book called The True Beauty in Me, Loving Yourself Even When Others Don't. I'm all about self-care. These are some of my clients that I've dealt with, and they come back regularly. You can see the before and the after pictures of the many women that I have serviced. I am asking $5,000 to do what you say. Let me just tell you. For my LLC, for marketing, my social media, and developing a better website for myself. And to also transform more Bonnies in this world. I have 4 clients. One of my main clients are military women. And I have some events coming up that I will be coaching, as well as giving some makeovers at some different summits this year. So, to help me to do this, I would need you to give me $5,000 so that I can transform all the Bonnies in the world. Thank you very much.
Judges, you have 2 minutes to ask questions to Sean.
Good evening, and thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Just one quick question. You had mentioned 3 times your clients, but aside from the narratives and the photos, can you go into more of a translation of clients to market? What is that? What does it look like in terms of, as I've been learning, the empowerment market, for lack of a better word, particularly some practitioners here, like Shannon Cohen and others, who do some of these things in addition to some retail aspects, focus that on some mid-level to executive women leaders. What's your market? You say clients, but what's your market? And then comprehensively, what's your service cost of those full package that you offer?
Well, it's $250 for the full package. It comes with 2-hour coaching sessions as well as a makeover. They don't have to do it once. It can be monthly, weekly, but it's not just a one-time thing for some women. This is a continuing thing for lifestyle changing. As far as marketing, putting myself out there, putting different flyers, word of mouth, paying for social media marketing over Facebook or Instagram, just going to different churches and talking to different people as different executives, getting myself out there to offer my services to them as well.
Thank you. That was actually really interesting. I'm kind of curious, in the same model, you mentioned it's $250 for like a 4-session. Do you have like a bigger model to kind of grow it? So if you have a client for, say, 6 months and they kind of go through that, do you have like a couple-year program, or what's your revenue model look like?
I do, actually. It depends on what the need of the client. So if they need more time, then we'll set up our program for the most of the time that they need.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay, coming up next to the stage is James with Gone Bananas. James.
All right, as humans, we all need to eat. Some of us have developed a love and a passion for food that goes far and above the daily nutritional needs. I've been working in the culinary industry for over 30 years. I've worked around the world. I've eaten foods that people in this country don't even consider food, and enjoyed every minute of it. I work currently down here at the Plaza Cafe, and I'm constantly trying to get my coworkers to experience unique new foods. Just try it. Yeah, it might be squirming, it might be still alive, but it tastes delicious, trust me. Now, recently, I tried a whole new approach with them, and we'll get to that in just a minute. When we go to the carnival, we're inundated. Cotton candy, candied apples, elephant ears, we've seen them for years. It's time for something new. 143 years ago, the banana was introduced to this country at the World's Fair in Philadelphia. It's time to take it up to the next level. Deep fried bananas have been a street food in Asia for hundreds of years. They are simply delicious, as anybody here who has tried them today can tell you. I work with bananas and pineapples, and I have created unique beach-themed food names for these, just to invoke that tropical escape environment. As you can see by my breakdown here, $5,000 is just the seed money I need to grow a very fruitful business. I have been working on looking at the downtown market as a location to set this up. The past few weekends I have been doing pop-up vending down there, selling orchids, just to get a feel for the market. And I love it down there. It is a definite foodie place, foodie environment. There's a space down there, it's about 300 square foot. It's about $320 a month. It's got my name on it, waiting for you to hand me the money so I can go open up and get started. Any questions?
analysis look like in your way of sales that you would have to do on a monthly basis? Or
About 5 bananas an hour.
5 days? That's good. How's that compared to Starbucks?
Well, you want to talk overpriced coffee
Right.
or?
Right? Okay, interesting. Okay, fine.
So starting up, I'm looking at running this place by myself for about the first year until it's completely established. Bring on a few employees and start branching out and into the malls and maybe some other areas.
So have you evaluated whether this makes sense to be in one spot versus like a food truck?
Food truck is going to cost me about $40,000 to get started up. Food trailer between $15,000 and $20,000 by the time I build it and license it. Less than $5,000, I can have this up and running within 2 months, fully licensed, ready to go and ready to operate.
Do you have a competitive market? Anybody in the area will be competing with you?
Not for deep fried bananas.
Okay.
My closest competition is in Oahu.
Have you done a test market out there? Have you gone out to neighbors and walked around?
Working down in the Plaza Cafe, I feed these to my coworkers. Hey, here, try this. I changed it up just a little bit. Everybody loves it.
Yeah. So, do you have like a good supply for bananas?
Gardens Food Service.
Hey, there you go. So when you've tested, you've also done that by your price point. You haven't done it as premium giveaway. So what's the price been that you are charging or testing out as well, in addition to the actual food?
Well, I haven't actually been able to actually sell them, simply because I don't have that market. I don't have the license that you can set up to do that. So price point has just been based on cost and the comparison at the downtown market, what the prices they're charging for things compared to other places.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
Next, coming up to present is Des Nelson with Project Oasis.
10% of every dollar invested in a project is wasted on poor project performance. This number is staggering, and it's not getting better. My name is Des Nelson, and I am the founder of Des Nelson Consulting. I have been in the IT profession for over 30 years, 15 of those years as a project manager. It is almost impossible to see at a glance if a project is healthy, profitable, or if it's falling behind. When I am asked about the status of a project, many times I have to investigate in order to find the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Project Oasis. Project Oasis is the result of years of frustration as a project manager in not having critical project information at my fingertips for anyone who has a stake in the project. Project Oasis imports data from other systems and using key performance indicators, measures, and displays the health of a project. Think of it as your investment tracker, but for projects. More importantly, I use my expertise as a consultant to come in and remediate any discrepancies those projects may have and return that project to profitability. Project Oasis pays for itself by remediating those projects and correcting project execution. My business target market is companies with more than 5 people. However, to be honest with you, any company that runs a project would benefit from Project Oasis. It is for project managers and stakeholders alike. I have completely bootstrapped my business and I have no debt. I work with a SCORE mentor and I am thrilled that he is here tonight to support me. Woo-hoo! I also am a member of the CEO Roundtable at the Grand Rapids Chamber of Commerce. All of my clients struggle with project transparency. They want it, they need it, and they're willing to pay for it. Some of those people are here tonight, ready to buy. Tonight, I am asking for $5,000 and a partnership with a software development company to bring Project Oasis to reality. I am so excited about Project Oasis, and I would love to answer any questions the judges may have for me.
Is the platform already built, or you're looking to build the platform?
The platform is built in my head. And I do have some mock-up user experience, but it has not been built.
You mentioned an annual subscription service.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what that fee may be?
In comparison to other companies and what my product will do, I'm looking at about $1,500 a year for a subscription.
What are your development costs? You say 5,000, but what do you anticipate the cost to get this to market?
Because I use an application programming interface to interface with the back-end system, really what I need is some front-end development and also the user interface build. I estimate those costs to be about $15,000. I have already invested some of my own money in that, and that's where I'd like to add the $5,000.
And then do you have any sense of ongoing IT integration costs? Because every client's going to be a little different.
Every client will be a little different. However, most systems that are in place right now have a SQL backend to it, and I can bring in that file type. I could just import that. If a client does not have that file type, I can use an Excel file to bring that in.
I think I'm fine. So if you could go first back to one of the slides in your package and another. Yep. So what I was thinking when I saw this, somewhat similar to the question on client uniqueness and adaptability to what they buy is my PM pad. So if I were to look at not just the IT aspect, but just any kind of project in the 10 PMBOK areas, for me, a lot of it is out of those 10s, wanting to maybe track something in the context of cost,
Correct.
PM management, stakeholder communication, and maybe HR. Does your system allow a user to be able to
It's definitely
take that from the different 10 areas that they may need in PM?
it's completely configurable.
Okay.
Completely. And the key performance indicators that I refer to are things like, slicing and dicing, budget versus actual cost and things like that. But it's completely configurable,
And no matter the project. It's not
no
just
matter the
IT.
project. The idea here, sir, is to get the visibility of the projects and get the transparency out there.
Thank you.
Michael, can you give us just a minute? Thank you.
Yes. I agree.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was next.
Autumn, Adam, Kim.
Judges? You guys ready? Awesome. Coming next is Adam Erickson with Electric Life Video Production. Adam?
Hi, like I said, my name is Adam Erickson. As far as I can remember, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. My family has electric repair companies, radio stations. This stands for Electric Life Video Entertainment.us. Just bought it. If you go there, you're not going to see much. You say it fast, though. It's not like you're saying Elvis. So that's pretty cool. So being an entrepreneur is important. And I'm proud to say that I finally am one. But what's really exciting about that is I've been trying to be one since I was 13. I went to events like this even when I could drive. Never found something that motivated me and interested me to do anything repetitively. Until now. You'll catch me making videos after this, except for weddings. Two cookie cutter, everybody wants the same thing. Video marketing is on the rise as more people look towards for videos than they do for books, to do things such as entertain. Maybe you want to laugh. I mean, has anybody here had a call to action or seen a video that made them cry, made them laugh, brought them together as a team for something to talk about? Does anybody here remember the last Super Bowl commercial that just made them shake their heads and laugh or whatever? They're out there. Michael Jackson was keen at making videos back in the day, wasn't he? Music videos. Offering production services to West Michigan companies, this is just a small list. And as my company grows, and as I can add more people, more technology, I'll have so much more that I can offer. I think it'll be a good 50 to 100 years before I make the next Avengers movie. But there will be a possibility of slowly tacking on more services as it goes by, and I do want to stay in West Michigan. These are just the beginning videos that I can do right now with the software I have, 1080p maybe. I do not have a 4K camera. There is so much extra lighting, gimbals, and other things that I would have to tack on to expenses I just do not have right now. That is where the ask comes in, that we've been told to do so many times. This is a standard 4K video production camera. This is the starting point. After that, you have to go. You can tack on another $5,000 just on stuff to make this stable, to make it shoot better, to make it glide across the floor. This right here is your basic licensing for Adobe Suite. It gives you all the creative suites, including the video ones. And then you have to add another $20 a month for stock photo. Then you have to pay for that stock photo. You're just paying for having a little bit of extra in for some of that stock photo and stock video photos. So as you can see, this has been a dream of mine. It's in my heart, it's in my bones. I have made videos for people in school, multimedia digitization, where it was on a 1 Pentium processor. It took a whole day for it to compile, and it brought some of the people to tears. And you will see me always wanting to do that again. This is such a great film.
I'm wondering, just how are you going to kind of differentiate yourself from kind of competitors within this market? I know this is a pretty...
I don't think you really can differentiate from making a video if everybody had the same colored business card. This is more about creativity, and it's the passion that you put in it. It's the excitement, the energy that you can just take and throw into your next video. And once you build that portfolio, the bigger your portfolio, the more people are talking about your company, the more eventually you'll be able to charge to cover these costs. But I do need to start low when talking to get to that point.
How are you going to make money?
Billing people
Okay.
for my services. There's no base plan right now, but I figure I would just start with maybe 200 3-minute videos, $200 for maybe a 3-minute video, or a YouTube video, Facebook video, marketing. I could do some of that, consulting on videos also. But mostly I just want to make creative videos where this company says, I can't believe what you did for us with this video. Thank you. Probably going to use it again. Here's a couple of other people that make my videos. No more questions?
Yeah, the gentleman.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Coming up next is Autumn Harpence Bystander Emergency Action Training Team.
So when I was in the Air Force, I was a CPR training instructor, and someone I had taught 2 weeks prior came to me informing me that a coworker was working in a fuel tank, was asphyxiated by the fumes, and passed out. He proceeded to tell me that he and a few others were quick to act with the response techniques I taught them, therefore saving that person's life. Because of that story, even though I'm not in the military anymore, keeps on with my certification, just in case. In an effort to continue my service, my company is the Bystander Emergency Action Training Team, otherwise known as the B Team. Now, there are various reasons why a person would go into cardiac arrest and need CPR. It can happen to anyone, any age, any physical condition. As you can see by the blue lines, that anyone at the age of a job has a 40% chance of going to cardiac arrest. Excuse me, sir. Would it give you a sense of comfort to know that this guy next to you was trained just in case you were passed out right now?
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. 13% of all work-related deaths are from cardiac arrest, and 25% of all emergency room visits could be avoided if people actually knew basic CPR and first aid. Now, think about it. How much would it cost to actually replace an employee, or even you as a business owner? What's the solution? Get certified. A person's survival rate is increased 2 to 3 times if a bystander actually uses CPR. So now, there's a bunch of different reasons, of course, that it would save you on insurance. Sorry, I totally lost my place. So saving you on insurance costs. It also reduces hazards that would alleviate like accidents, injuries, lawsuits. It would help you save money on your workers' compensation and general liability premiums. Sorry, my clicker's not working. So there are 3 other competitors in West Michigan, and my business is the only one that'll be working full-time. And it is my goal to fuel growth by making those competitors my employees. Sorry, everyone. So in order to make all this possible, these are some of the startup costs that the B team needs to help your employees feel safer, not just in the workplace, but in life. With your help, my company will teach your employees the confidence they need to help them feel the confidence to do work, hazard reduction that could affect the credibility of your company. So, I'm so sorry, I just was practicing and I completely blanked out. So this is all the more reason for you to join the B team and get certified. So just remember, folks, not all heroes wear capes or camo, but let the B team teach you to do something heroic. Thank you. Man, it's good. Now that I'm off the clock.
So you actually have a deep bench of competitors. And second, the advantage that they bring, because a few, if not almost many of them, are subsidized in the form of granting to be able to provide the populace free or reduced fee services, mainly in the form of the American Red Cross. So all that being said, if I can go to those outlets, and again, free or reduced fee, what's the distinctive that I should take the wallet out to do something that I can go elsewhere?
Well, that's a very good question. Not everybody has that kind of availability to get help, that CPR training for free. Sometimes that really kind of depends on where you work, who you're with, organizations. But not only will I teach them CPR, but also skill building practices. When people work together, it also helps with reduce absenteeism, helps them gain that camaraderie and feel safer in the workplace. So thinking that not only are you teaching yourself to help save the life of a coworker, but a family member, a friend, complete stranger someday, you never really know. See, going back to my graph, to know that you have a 40% chance, 40% chance as a minimum at any age, the probability of that happening, the United States only has about a 30% of people who are actually certified, having those 3 things available, but not everybody knows that. So let's build a team. Be part of the B team.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely, go ahead.
How are you going to make money?
Oh.
I mean, are you charging them?
Yes, absolutely.
And then price
Right.
list?
So I have a price list, but because of the sake of time, that the need for CPR is so great because of the life-saving practices on for that, so it would have a price to it. It just really depends on the group.
Thank you, that's great. Thank you. Michael, wait, just a minute after you're done, please. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, judges. Next, coming up is Sara Boyd with Operation Truth, Gulf War Illness, Suffering Unite. Sara?
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Can you hear me in the back? All right, so we heard today how many civilians are in the House and how many veterans are in the House. I would like you to raise your hand if you've ever heard of Gulf War illness, know what it is, or are experiencing it for yourself. Keep your hands raised. Now look around the room, please. See how many people are here today that have ever heard of Gulf War illness. Now, who is suffering from Gulf War illness? Keep your hands raised. That is why I started the charity nonprofit Operation Truth, Gulf War Illness Suffering Unite. As the individuals in this room, by the end of this evening, all of you will know what Gulf War illness is. Now, not only does our own veteran community not understand what Gulf War illness is, but their own VA doesn't know what Gulf War illness is. As you can see, there are several names that they have encompassed as what this umbrella term defines. They know that it affects the deployed, they know it affects the non-deployed, and they know it affects our family members, but they're not doing anything about it. They're collecting the data, they know it causes over 12 diagnoses and symptoms that from the Gulf War exposures, but they're not doing the proper research to do anything about it. As you can see, something I was not aware of, so I'm sure you're not aware of, from the Gulf War era, from 1989 to present, there has been 6 million veterans that have served. 6 million veterans, 200,000 of those went to the first Gulf War, and decades later we're still dealing with the same mess with the VA. From one survey of 15,000 individuals, the VA found there to be, from just 4 conditions of the 12 that they currently have in counting, the non-deployed affected as well. What are they doing about it? Nothing. What we are asking for, what we have done here at Operation Truth, is wrote our own congressional bill that we will get passed into law. For this bill to get passed, we need everyone on board. We need to get this done because we need our Gulf War Registry exam, and we need an additional research advisory committee for the non-deployed and family members. When this is accomplished, it'll assist in the tax on the current system. There are millions of us that have claims in, and the VA just can't keep on top of it. In addition to that, the VA only receives 90 minutes of an online course to deal with decades of research on what Gulf War illness is. How can you take care of anyone if all you know is 90 minutes of such a crucial thing that is causing an effect to the entire Gulf War era? In order for us to get service connected, we have to have the research. We have to get diagnosed. We need that CFR code. Without that code, we can't get service connection. We can't get presumptive, and we won't get medical coverage. Thousands of dollars are being spent from our veterans' own pockets for lawyers to get these claims that they are already supposed to be getting taken care of. So what we are going to do with this money that we received today or this evening, we're going to use it to amp up our awareness. We're making merchandise, plastering our logos on it, and selling them at a profit of at least 50%. Now, not only will our shirts be given so that we can bring awareness to Go For It in this, but in 2020, we're going to march on DC, we're going to demand Congress make this bill into law. We can't do that without subject matter experts. We need those subject matter experts to get to DC and testify. We need those veterans to get to DC and testify. Our goal is $20,000. As you can see, we are not close to that. We have been gifted with several things for our operational costs, which assists in not having to pay that out of pocket, but getting cash donations for anyone, from anyone, for anything is extremely difficult in today's market without having something to sell. So that's why we need these additional monies that we can achieve from this event so that we can make merchandise, so we can sell it, we can bring awareness, and we can bring these crucial individuals to Congress and get this bill passed into law. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
Just a quick summary, what are some of the main points of the bill?
Yes, sir. The main points is to get additional research advisory committee. So what that consists of is a panel of individuals from Congress, from our own veterans, and subject matter experts to ensure that the research is not only gathered correctly, but the data is being used correctly. In addition to that, we'll have a research advisory committee, a registry exam, which they currently already have for the deployed Go For It individuals, so that we will have the numbers correct, so the population of those affected will be understandable, and then we'll be able to hone in on what exactly the exposures are causing our conditions. What I didn't mention at the beginning is I am a veteran. I did not deploy. I'm in that demographic. I am vaccine injured due to the anthrax vaccine. Do I look sick? No. I'm wearing these glasses. Yeah, they make me look cool, but that's not why I wear them, because I can't see. And I had to fight for 11 years for the VA to finally admit that I had vaccine injured because I didn't deploy. $20,000 I've spent out of my own pocket for lawyers to get the benefits I have that I should have never had to pay.
So just a quick question, what other military groups that are advocating for military rights are you working with now?
Yes, ma'am. We have several veterans partners. A lot of them are Michigan local. They are assisting with bringing awareness, allowing us to have our informational tables at their events for free. They have given us sponsorships. Corporate sponsorships, as you know, are the major component of a nonprofit to bring in that additional monies. Of course, any donations are welcome, but corporate sponsorships and grants are really the way to go to get that additional income.
Thank you, sir. Judges, you guys have a minute and a half. Okay, thank you so much, judges. Next up to the stage is Dr. Kimberly Kennedy.
You should say as myself.
Oh, Dr. Kimberly Kennedy as Dr. Kimberly Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone, and I am Dr. Kimberly Kennedy. I'm a United States Navy disabled veteran, and I am the founder of 100 Shades of Disability, L3C. And at 100 Shades of Disability, I work every day to dismantle the perceptions that people have about persons with disabilities through community education, community partnerships, peer mentoring, as well as economic empowerment. Okay, there. The problem is, it's just a general perception that people have of persons with disabilities. If you look at these pictures, everybody's happy, they have families. These are all able-bodied people. You don't see anybody in there looking fabulous like me in a wheelchair. I go places, I do things. I'm just saying. But this is what, when we think about people and activity in life, this is what we look at. And that's a problem. And I think my nails are too long. So, every year, an estimate of 7.9 million infants are born with some sort of birth defect. And as we can see down here at the bottom, that more than 375,000 Americans become totally disabled every year in some sort of way. And I was one of those persons. 6 years ago, I had to have 5 head surgeries. After the 5th head surgery, I found out that I had thyroid cancer, had the surgery for the thyroid cancer, and then I had the audacity to have a stroke, which has left me in a wheelchair. And then they tell me I have some kind of weird disease where I had lesions on my jaw. They took out most of my jaw on my right side and all of the teeth, and on the left side, they took out a section of my jaw. So, the solution, I took it personal. I went and got my doctoral degree. There you see me with my 3 beautiful children. Yes, I'm sorry, they stay on, yeah, beautiful children. As you can see down here, that I was a part of the Women for Whitmer, representing the disability community. And here you see me on last week. We got a bill passed, woo-hoo, changing signs, changing minds, changing from looking stoic and needing help to somebody who is truly active. And then I started my own company, as you, my wonderful lashes, they're out there on the table. I did receive my back pay for having been injured while on active duty, and I took that money and I invested it in myself and into a business. Here you see me with the National Church of God in Christ as the jurisdictional president of the Business and Professional Women's Federation. So I got the women in my church to get on board to start their businesses. And over here you see me, Bruise Beats and Belly Laughs. Yes. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Go back. What? Oh, yeah, there's me. Right there. Bill passed. We're like, yes, woohoo. Great. Me doing Laugh Fest. Me down here with Disart. These are many of my community partners here. There I am right there with Disart. We were in Art Prize. Here I am with Absolutely Accessible Kent. That was on last Thursday. We are getting architects and builders to make all of Kent County accessible for those persons with disabilities. And there I am with the Chamber of Commerce and their mixer. I am on radio with Radio for Divas. Yes, living life with abilities. And here I am down here doing a press conference this past January with the governor where we gave $4.7 million for the mobility grant. And there I am doing the investability. And you see me with those wonderful kids there on Legislative Day. And I am the first title holder for Miss Wheelchair Michigan, USA, as well as the first African American. And they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I think it's worth $5,000 on today. So I'm asking for $5,000 to hire somebody to manage me. I'm doing all of this on my own. And I need somebody to manage all of this. And they're gonna need a wonderful sign-on bonus because they're gonna need to put all this stuff together. Every single time that I do an appearance or I'm out pitching, as I normally do out there on Capitol Hill, I am gaining 30 to 60 new followers on social media. I'm receiving inboxes, I'm receiving calls of people saying, hey, can you come and walk alongside of me? My daughter has MS, I wasn't able to get her benefits. Is there anything that you can do to help me? Absolutely, I can connect you with our Centers for Independent Living. So, I'm in my own self tight.
We'll open up for questions.
Anybody have any questions for me?
Where do you see yourself going from here?
I have about 10 more engagements before I have to go to Ohio for nationals for Miss Wheelchair USA. If I win Miss Wheelchair USA, then I will spend a year going around the country advocating, as I'm doing, but more for them, and I get to push my platform.
Is the business model, if I were looking at practice groups or consultancy, I think I'm hearing there's advocacy,
yes,
legislatively, so you're almost representing yourself as maybe a lobbyist or an advocate. Then secondly, there's some consulting services that probably encompass compliance and non-compliance, ADA type of aspects for businesses. And then I guess there's this general, I guess, PR, external affairs. So
anywhere between $250 to $500.
For what?
All of the above, everything that you just said. If they come and they say, this is what we need, I'm averaging about $250 to $500 per session. Like with the governor on that, for the mobility challenge, I charged $250, and what I did, I sat down with advocacy groups, all of the transportation systems across the state of Michigan, as well as other centers for independent living, and they pitched their idea to me about what they thought they could do to fill in the gap for mobility for persons with disabilities, veterans, and seniors. And so, yeah, for about 6 hours of work, not quite 6, no, I did about 2 hours. About 2 hours of work, so it was like $250.
So how would that differ or be similar to your other organizations like disability advocates?
I work with them. They pay me. Yep, they pay me.
Good.
So, like when I went there, in fact, thank you for reminding me I need to submit my bill. I forgot to submit my bill. And right here, this is Sarah. She is actually the Chief Executive Officer for the state of Michigan. And there are 15 centers for independent living. They paid me. I went down there 3 weeks ago and testified before the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee and asked for $3 million. And so when I went back on Wednesday, they were just like, yeah, here's that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Judges, you have a minute and a half. Judges, good. Coming next to the stage is Nicholas Kaminsky with Hickory Tree Farm Apiaries. Nick.
Beautiful. Over 1/3 of the honeybees in Michigan died last year.
Aww.
Think about that. Over 1/3 of all the honeybees in Michigan died. Good evening. My name is Nick Kaminsky, owner and operator of Hickory Tree Farm Apiaries. I left the Marine Corps and started beekeeping back in 2014. I found out very quickly after that just how difficult it is to keep bees alive in this really harsh, short northern season that we have. In the beginning, I had a lot of bees die on me. After a while, I was able to figure out why they were dying. One of the reasons was that I was buying poor quality bees with weak queens. You see, if you purchase bees in the early spring here in Michigan, chances are you're going to get a package or a nucleus colony from the south. These colonies are often very hastily put together in an expedited manner and trucked up here. They arrive stressed out, and they don't really have what it takes to make it in our short season and successfully overwinter. Frustrated by having to shoulder the cost of buying bees again and again every single year that didn't make it, I started to source my own bees for my apiary from farrow colonies that I would cut out of people's walls right here in Grand Rapids. These colonies that I rescued performed better than the ones I paid money for, so I started breeding my own bees from them. I made my own queens and nucleus colonies in early June, and then I overwintered them. I took them through the winter, and they successfully made it through the winter, and in the springtime, they were the fastest to build up and make me honey. I knew right then and there that what I had to do was to make these hives available to purchase to everybody. See, thousands of beekeepers just like me spend an untold millions of dollars every year buying bees that are just going to die in the fall. It's time to breed stronger bees and to do it sustainably. A beekeeper wants a hive that was raised locally and successfully overwintered, not one that had to travel 1,000 miles to get here. So how are we going to do this? Well, tonight, I'm asking for $5,000 of starter capital to purchase 33 new colonies. In early June, I will split these 33 colonies once again to create 66 colonies. I will give each of them one of my northern genetic queens, and I will overwinter them. I will sell 30 in the spring for $200 a piece. That will net me a 120% return on investment. And then I will go ahead and use my remaining 30 plus colonies to increase my numbers to 120 nucleus colonies with no overhead that I will then be able to sell the next year. We will continue this scalable and sustainable growth trend until we are the largest supplier of overwintered nucleus colonies and queens in the state of Michigan. Now, if you would like to learn some more about bees, or you have a few questions for me, I'll yield for that at this time. Thank you.
So I gotta ask, how many times have you been stung?
I don't even know. The most I ever counted was 17, and that was through both legs. The colony that you saw on the slide up there, that came from right here in Grand Rapids. And I had to very hastily remove that one. I wasn't wearing the best protective equipment.
Is there a lot of competition for this arena?
There are a lot of people supplying bees commercially in the manner that I described, shipping colonies from the south up here. And currently, the new trend is overwintering and selling those. A lot of beekeepers are coming around to the more sustainable model of things and understanding that trucking bees and having the losses on the bees truck, spreading the diseases and the pests is not the best way. So this is the beginning of a very new wave of beekeeping. These overwintered hives sell for much more money, and that's because they have a lot higher success rate. So people are getting on board now, but currently I have no competitors in the West Michigan area.
So how do you market yourself?
Currently we're marketing through word of mouth, Facebook, Instagram, other social media avenues, and actually Craigslist. I generate a lot of business from Craigslist. When you think about it, I actually purchased my first hive that way. But we've actually just started this year advertising through social media and have gotten amazing success from that. So we're going to continue that.
Are you working with any of the ag, like the farmers organizations, because more bees will create more fruit, which will create, better crop?
Yes, actually I'm working with a lot of different organizations right now to both develop myself and to build working relationships, as well as partnering with other businesses around me and other farms around me, especially ones that lean more towards the organic side, because one of the issues stressing bees is pesticides. So we try to stay away from really heavy commercial agriculture, because at Hickory Tree Farm Acres, we really care about our bees.
Yeah, cost of the colony when you sell each?
When I sell them each, they cost about $200. They cost me about $50 to go ahead and build the hive. I build everything in-house, and to supply the bees in order to make it from current stock, and in order to treat that hive, feed it, and give it what it needs. So I'm about $50 of overhead cost on each one of those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judges, you've got a minute and a half. And our last, but not least, final presenter for tonight's Michigan Veterans Entrepreneurship Lab is Ellie Draxler with Born Blessing MSP. Ellie?
Good evening, everyone. Do you know what a doula is?
Yes.
Essentially, those I talk to, basically it's a birth coach. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I got into this. As you can see, we have quite the story of infertility, challenging pregnancy, traumatic birth, difficult postpartum, and more struggles than are on that list. So what do? I provide evidence-based information that's been researched going back hundreds of years. So I can provide my clients with the very best. So they can, when they get information from their doctor, they can be able to make the best informed decision, whether it's informed consent or saying no thanks. Emotional support, basically a cheerleader. During labor, I tell mom, you're doing great. This hurts and it sucks right now, but it will be so worth it when you see your beautiful baby. Physical support is mostly during labor, comfort measures, pain management, a back rub, a foot rub, running a bath, breastfeeding support after a baby is born. There we go. According to the American Pregnancy Association, 25% of people who hire a doula have a shorter labor. How many women are all for shorter labor? Come on. 40% reduction of Pitocin induction, which that kind of induction leads very often to a cesarean section, which a doula decreases that risk by 50%. That's a lot. And then 60% reduction of epidural requests, which is also huge because I'm a lot cheaper than an epidural. My heart is for low-income families. They're the most vulnerable. I have a friend who adopted and the birth mom labored and delivered on her own in the hospital. The doctors and nurses, they come and go. When I come in, I'm with you, I'm by your side the whole time, I don't leave. So those are my prices. Over on the other side, births, my goal is by the end of the year to have 2 booked a month. And then postpartum support, probably have 1 or 2 of those clients that I'm contracting a month. Couple of overnights. My husband's a 3rd shifter, so we're going to see how the overnights go. Childbirth classes are very sustainable because I can go into a hospital, be able to do those month in, month out, no matter what's going on in life. But I can also customize those. We can do those privately in your home. Because how many working families want to go sit at the hospital on their weekend? Nobody does that. So my ask is for the $5,000. About $1,000 of that goes to cover the cost of my education, my Kickstarter. The last $12 of that is to buy my husband a beer for being so amazing. Do you guys have any questions?
Is there a big, like amount of competition in the area for something like this, or is this?
There's quite a few doulas in the West Michigan area, but there's more moms. And there's no fertility doulas. There's nobody who goes, okay, you're thinking about getting pregnant? Let me help you figure out how all of that works. You need to see a fertility specialist. We have an amazing fertility clinic here in Grand Rapids. But you go into that appointment, and it's so much overwhelming information. So I can go to those appointments with clients, and after we can go grab a coffee and debrief and help them make an educated, informed decision about what path is best for them.
How do you get your clients? What's your target?
A lot of word of mouth. Right now I have a Facebook page. I'm hoping in the next month I can launch my, put my website together and get that launched as well.
Is there any way to get insurance to pay for it?
Right now there's not. That's something I want to change because insurance companies are missing out big time. Because they're paying for epidurals and cesareans, and they could pay a very small amount of money for me.
Can you specify the last usage of funds to support two vulnerable families?
Yes, that is where my heart is at, the most vulnerable. So that allows me to, without having to worry about anything, support two families who are the greatest need. So most likely with that, I'll go to, I've talked with the Family Hope Center in Holland. They frequently have women come in, a lot of them are pregnant. When they go to the hospital, they may not have somebody, so I can come in and help them and support them, because those vulnerable families don't necessarily have somebody who's in their corner.
That's underwriting your personnel costs, your income to do that for those two.
No, that won't cut into any of that. I have a 3-year-old, so I would do it for free, but I have to pay for my insurance, and I have to pay for childcare.
Got some of your expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much covers expenses with a very small amount being able to go back into the company to be able to do it again. And by small amount, like $50. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and judges, that was the final presenter. We will all dismiss and be back here in 20 minutes. Audience members, please feel free to go back and meet some of the entrepreneurs. And judges, good luck, and we'll see you here at 7:45. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Excellent. Again, my name is Shuruk Almala. I'm the director for the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And on behalf of the Seidman College of Business and Grand Valley State University, I want to thank all of you for being here and making this evening very special for everyone involved. So to all the MVE participants, congratulations. You've done a phenomenal job. Please help me. So I, along with the instructors, the mentors, the coaches, are amazed at all the hard work and the great progress that you've made in such a short amount of time. We all know this has been a long and intense program of learning, exploration, and sometimes challenges. And I want to remind you, tonight is not the end of anything. And I hope for all of you, it's just the beginning of a journey of lifelong learning. I want to commend you and congratulate you for what you've accomplished so far, and encourage you to continue to seek that knowledge, skills, and network that you've gained through this program. We're all very proud of what you have done, so congratulations. And I also want to remind you that you did not get here alone. Throughout this program, you've had guidance, mentorship, and support. and I hope you continue to seek that mentorship and support beyond this program. The social capital and social network is what makes the MVE program really special. So I do want to take this opportunity again to thank all the mentors, the instructors, and the facilitators for making MVE program what it is. So Michael, Andrew, and Julie, and all the mentors, thank you so much for the hard work. I especially want to thank my good friend and colleague, Julie Cowie, for your passion and tenacity and all you've done, to make this program happen. You probably heard me say this before. This was literally like an idea on a napkin, and Julie made it happen, so really grateful for you. Thank you. So MVE is a community program. It's one of the community programs within the Center for Entrepreneurship. And it would not be possible without the support of our community partners and sponsors. So we can't thank you enough, and I do want to take this opportunity again to acknowledge all our sponsors and partners, our growth sponsor, Wells Fargo, our startup sponsor, Basics and Spartan Nash, our seed sponsor, Northwestern Mutual, and supporting sponsor, Huntington Bank. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Thank you so much. So without further ado, I know we're all anxious to hear the results. So we have 4 prizes to give: $1,000 for People's Choice Award, third place for $1,000, second place $3,000, and then we have the grand prize of $5,000. So we'll start with the $1,000 People's Choice Award, and the award goes to Project Oasis. On stage for our final group photo. So, third place, $1,000 goes to Born Blessings. $3,000 goes to Life's Beautiful Diamond. The grand prize has been generously sponsored by Wells Fargo. So I'm going to ask Gavin Vanderwood, Senior Vice President, to join us here to hand out the big check. So drum roll, please. So the Wells Fargo grand prize goes to Hickory Tree Farm. All right. away with, you know, the knowledge, the skills, the network. Hopefully that's something you'll take away forever. So I want to again thank our sponsors, judges, mentors, facilitators, everyone. Thank you for making this a great program. I'm happy to announce we'll be launching the third cohort of the MVE program in the fall. We will kick off September 9th. That's right, Julie. So, you know, you can go to our website, find that information. If you know of anyone who could benefit, please. And we have postcards out on the table. So thank you so much and have a good night. Thank you.
We are just now finished. I went live for the award.
So yeah,